they'll be calling you a radical. So why here? I mean, basketball royalty. So Scottie Pippin has lost his mind. It amazes me, and basketball metaphors matter. You know, I always go back and remember because I was one of those kids when I was little. Okay? And my second grade teacher was Olene Walker, the first governor here's mom, T.O. Smith's wife, Miss Smith, and she really identified. No, he's not autistic. He's not. I mean, couldn't tie my shit. I mean, she says no, he's touched. She says no, in a good way, and she's the one. She knew I liked basketball, and so she says, "Come here." And she gave me a book, and she says, "See this?" And I'm like, what? She's the one that taught me about the Shoshone. You already knew about the Shoshone because I remember playing in the wigwams behind my house down there. And this hallowed sacred ground right here. She's like, they play basketball. Look, and I read this book. I got in the West Weber, Frank Lloyd Wright, Leslie Hodgson masterpiece that I grew up in. Got to go to school in that gym. The Walquist, which was a Leslie Hodgson gym. The old Weber High tore them down. I mean, they tore them all down. But she says, they play basketball. I says, for thousands of years, right? She says, yeah. And so basketball metaphors matter. It's probably the oldest sport. Well, it is the oldest sport in North America. I mean, it's at least 14,000. It's my work with the Kumeyaw. The Kumeyaw will say, Kevin, we'll go along with their 18,000 year party, but it's way longer than that. You know, I sat with Bill Walton at the ceremony when they, you know, I went to San Diego 200 with my grandparents, and there was hundreds of thousands of people there. And I went to San Diego 250, maybe 300 people there. I sat with Bill Walton from there. And so basketball metaphors matter. And so Scottie Pippen has lost his mind. These people are crazy. And then the metaphor that really I want to hammer in is the fact that Shaq got served. Shaq's been avoiding service getting on sued on the crypto scam. Yeah, he's getting sued. I'm not just, you know, same with Tom Brady, who ain't no goat. Same with on a boat, you know, I am the crypto scam. Won't you please join our crypto scam? Won't you please? Even if it's on Stephen Curry's powerboat, you know, takes the boat across. No, I won't. Not even if it's on Tom Brady, who's the bullshit goat. I won't. So Shaq's involved. They're all getting sued. They're going to lose. He won't take service. He's been hiding. They served him at the Celtics Heat game. Love it. Talk about a metaphor. Shaq's sister died of leukemia young, and I've talked more about her than he has. So, but Pippin, these people get so, I don't know what, arrogant about themselves. Scottie Pippen said a couple days ago that Michael Jordan was a horrible basketball player till he come on. Go tell that to Dean Smith, North Carolina. And he says, he never won till... What? Number one, he was a young player, and he was incredible. He's the GOAT. Bill Russell, Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, those are your GOATs. Wilt Chamberlain. Those are the top four players in the history of the league. You know, LeBron, we'll see when he finishes. He's going to be way up there. I always put number 5, the greatest basketball, is the player that no one gives really any love to. John Havlicek. How many titles? Oh, he had Russell. No, he didn't at the end. He won championships with that one. What about Tommy Heinsohn? So, but remember, Michael Jordan, when he was young, used to have to go through the East, the bad boys. That Pistons team, Isaiah does not get his credit. Oh, he was that good. That Pistons team was that good. Incredible. The Bulls couldn't get through them. You know, it took Jordan a while to hammer that wall down. And then in the West, you had to go through the Lakers with Magic and Kareem and Mr. Scott. He's from here. Oh, I can tie everything to Ogden. I'll Rhodes Lee Dog. He's from Ogden, born and raised in Ogden, Utah. He left, I think, when he was 11 years old. Uses his mother's name. His father won 2 national championships at Weber State. And so go talk to his mom. Woo, she'll tell you about old Ogden. Whoa, we were having this discussion the other night at the Raptors game with some of the Scots. I'm friends with. We're talking. I mean, really great conversation about this whole dynamic. So Pippin's out of his mind. I was at Game 6. I was at all the Jazz games. I didn't get rid of my season tickets till 2000. When Stockton Malone went, they went. Stockton Malone, all that as players. They couldn't beat. So Game 6, Jordan's back spazzing up. He can't even hardly move. In Salt Lake, Jazz had that game won. Jordan backs down, still waited the whole series. Backs down on Malone, steals the ball from Malone. People forget about that play. I mean, the great Steve Kerr. They couldn't get through those bad boys. You couldn't get through. Who could beat freaking Magic and Kareem? Whoa, now them players. Now we have who I've named Dylan Magic Jones here. He's going to be I still say everybody thinks I'm crazy. I still say he's going to be the Celtics' first round pick. I'm the one that named him that. So, Scottie Pippin, who made who? Basketball metaphors matter. Damian Lillard had by 23 points lost in the championship. I'm not a fan of what Damian Lillard's done with his this was made in California. The metaphors matter. Damian will be here on the 17th, and I hope, Joe Ballenboy, think about his path. They got beat in that championship game by a number 23 on the exact same shot. Joel did. Joel's path is incredible because of Ukraine. He was playing in Russia. He got out. I mean, what a story. These players. I've been involved here my whole life. Taught by the best of the best here in this incredible town. The great Junction City, the great Freudian city in Art Deco decay that they've let go to shit. Pippin's out of his fucking mind. Which Michael Jordan won all those rings without Pippin? No doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind. Who made who? Come on, Pippin. Who is Scottie Pippen without Michael Jordan? He's a run-of-the-mill player. I mean, he's a good player, an excellent player, but there's been hundreds of those guys. Is he a Hall of Famer? No. Well, not without Michael Jordan. Who made who? And he makes a statement like that? Is he out of his fucking mind? I think Rodman did more for those. Oh, he was on those bad boys that freaking Jordan couldn't get through. I mean, Rodman he don't get his dues. Oh, what a player. Are you kidding? Fuck, ask Carmelo. He gave Carmelo fits defensive. Rebounding machine. Jordan who was the coach of that team? I go back to Collins. You know why Collins got outed. I know that true story. But Jordan was a young guy, and he kept running into them bad boys. Them Pistons teams of the you're talking one of the greatest teams in NBA history. I mean, whoo. Couldn't beat him. Jordan finally beat him. Tipped him over. Couldn't beat those Lakers. Jordan finally did it. Jordan did that. He beat Kareem. He beat Magic. That was that first ring. So when I hear Pippin make a statement, come on. Who's the GOATs? Well, Bill Russell. I'm going to do a really cool video on Lombardi from here in Ogden. We went to the same high school as Bill Russell, earlier in Ogden, the Gunners. And it just blows my mind how stupid sports writers are. How bad the NBA draft is, it's just like Rashid Shaheed. Fuck, I knew what Rashid was. Undrafted. It's like, here. Hello. The best player I ever saw in this building, ever, and I know, and I've saw them all. From Bruce Collins to, we go clear back to Swenson Gym, to Willie Sojourner, Justin Thigpen, But here, you go back to Bruce Collins in those early days of this building, and Neil McCarthy and those great teams, and then we went to shift for a while, and then we got the great Rhonda Baglin, who I worked for, and Harold Arsenault of the show, and Gill. God, how good was Eddie Gill? Oh shit! But the greatest player, Damian Lillard, Joe Ballenboy, Jeremy Sieglin, Scottie Bamforth, Kyle Tresnick. I always go back to him. They such players, but the greatest player who ever played here is Jerry Carty. There's no doubt. It's not even close. And where's he? Europe, Spain. The Scots are that stupid. They want a cookie cutter. They want exactly protocol, certain size. So when I hear, basketball metaphors matter, and I'm going to hammer, I don't care. I learned a long time ago. It took me a long time to figure this out, genre. It's not a matter of how many are watching. In fact, you are contemporized and you're promoted. It's a curse. You spend all your time policing your sight from, oh God, for the ignorant have inherited the earth. It's who's watching. I have emails of thousands of important people, blah, 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 including NBA scouts, including NFL scouts. I've done the play-by-play for years. They all know me. What's his name emailed the other day, and he says, boy, you were so right on Rashid. You were from the beginning, yeah. So, what's his name, the other NBA asshole? He emailed the other day, and he says, yeah, we blew it on Jerry Carden, just like you said. Well, sign him now. So I really believe that we're going to have 3 players from Weber State in the NBA. I think they're all 3 going to be superstars. I think Dylan Jones will be a superstar in the NBA. And by the way, there's a possibility he goes to the Lakers. Wouldn't that be a story? And I named him. And of course, Damian Lillard's talent speaks for itself. And I'm not a fan of Lillard's, what he's done with his money and his wealth, but his talent speaks for itself. And of course, the great Jerry Carty. So all 3 of them. I think Jerry Carty will blaze it out. I think he'll go crazy like he does in Europe. He's the best player I ever saw. But just remember this. These guys couldn't win with those 3 players. They never won with those 3 players. I told Dylan to his face, and he couldn't believe it. This is Dylan's 2nd year here, and I'm like, Dylan. Dylan's a genius, by the way. And he's going to be a great NBA player. And I said, Dylan, do you know Damian Lillard never played in an NCAA tournament? What? Randy Ray never won an NCAA tournament. What? Oh, we're going to get him. Neither did Jerry Carty. He never won a tournament game, So they'll all be here. Hopefully they all come. Mr. Lillard here on the 17th will be exciting to see all those guys. Harold's coming. I got to tell this story about Harold Arsenault on the show. And by the way, Eddie Gill is in his 40s. And that's who I voted for the coach. I voted for Jimmy DeGrafferty, who's from Utah, and Eddie Gill. I mean, what's that old Bo Schimbacher? We need a Weber State man to coach Weber State. Yeah, we do. I voted for Jimmy D, and we got 2 votes, and I voted for Eddie Gill. Fuck, he looks like. By the way, I don't think Damian's going to invite Cody. John Cody put 2 in his face. That game was so good, and I appreciate Lillard having the game here and coming here. The kids in this town freaking worship him. I just don't like what he does with his wealth and his money and his sports merchandising. I don't like it. He's a boy-girl twin he has now. I'm a boy-girl twin. So, basketball metaphors. But Pippin's lost his fucking mind when he makes a statement like that. Without Michael Jordan, there is no Scottie Pippen. You're not even having this interview. So who made who? He says shit like that? It's out of his fucking tree. Michael Jordan is the GOAT. Michael Jordan, Bill Russell, and Kareem Abdul, those are the top 3. And Will Chamberlain statistically is the GOAT. Everybody says, oh, LeBron. No. Will Chamberlain. Will Chamberlain statistically is the GOAT. But he couldn't beat Bill, could he? That 67 team, he's got 2 rings. The best team in NBA history, 72 Lakers. Everybody goes back to that Golden State team. Golden State didn't win the championship. You got to win. Golden State lost in Game 7 to LeBron. That Bulls team of 96, 72 wins. Yeah. So you shouldn't be comparing. Golden State went on that incredible run, and they were incredible. But the bottom line is they lost. They didn't win the NBA Finals. You got to win. You got to win championships to have these conversations. This game's about winning. They didn't win. So the conversation should be the 71-72 Lakers versus the 96 Bulls. The Lakers with a guy named Jerry West. It's like the Buses are from Cameron, Wyoming, and like Jen Buse comes out with her top 10. She doesn't even put the number one Laker of all time. Who's the number one Laker of all time? Oh, that's Jerry West. That's unarguable. Elgin Baylor might be second. You know, it's like Hot Rod Hundley, the great Hot Rod Hundley, who I knew personally. I loved that guy. He was the greatest. You know, he talks about John Stockton, and he always, I used to say, the reason John Stockton was so great, he had one hell of a teacher for the Utah. That was Ricky Green. He's come fastest of the all with a belt-high dribble. Freaking the cowhide globe hits home. How good was Hot Rod? We go from Hot Rod to David Love. The Jazz product sucks. Danny Ainge, we got a BYU guy. I remember when Ainge got beat in here, Sandy Pack, and we all went crazy. I remember I think it was Clemson that beat him, and the fans were like, "We couldn't believe it. Everybody in the arena is freaking rude. You're a bunch of BYU." Oh yeah, we're Ogden, so we never liked Ainge, and so they're the BYU Jazz now, and you can have them. So Hot Rod said his favorite Jazz player of all time, he's talking, mine's Adrian Dantley and Ricky Green, but he said Ricky Green. Ricky Green's my favorite. Well, he's my favorite Jazz player of all time. He taught John Stockton. People forget statistically what Ricky Green was doing before John Stockton. Magic. How about Norm Nixon? I mean, these guys had I love how Kareem's so brilliant. He was here, and I wish I got some cool stuff, and I didn't know he was here. Would have got him to sign it, but he used to give credit to George Mikan. He says, he taught me that. And so these metaphors matter. Pippin's out of his fucking mind when he makes a statement like that. And the player that doesn't get the love and doesn't get the due, how many rings he got? What, Tommy Heinsohn? Your top 10 in history. Tommy Heinsohn and Bill Russell were rookies the same. Tommy Heinsohn has somewhere as a coach, as a broadcaster. He's in the Hall of Fame 3 times. Rightfully so. The player who I put number 5, what about John Havlicek? How good was, oh my God, how many rings he got? Oh, he had Bill. No, he didn't. He won after Bill Russell championships. I mean, all that. So when I hear Scottie Pippen, and I'm putting up a video on this, like I said, it's not how many watches, it's who watches. He's out of his fucking tree. He's out of his fucking mind. Without Michael Jordan, you wouldn't even know Scottie Pippen's fucking name. You might know, some hardcore fans, and he'd be, a player that was. There's lots of good players that have played the NBA. Very good players that have played the NBA. But he wouldn't be, considered one of the top 50 in the history of the NBA without Michael Jordan. So who made who? Michael Jordan. He says Michael Jordan was a horrible player before. What, are you out of your fucking mind? You're fucking gone cuckoo. Michael Jordan was a young player. Still to this day, I think he has the highest average in the history of the NBA for points in the game. And this is a year where he was Defensive Player of the Year. Michael Jordan still has the highest average. This is an era when they scored 80 points a game, 88, 91, 84, 85. Michael Jordan still has the highest scoring average in the history of the NBA and was Defensive Player of the Year, year in, year out. I mean, is he the GOAT? Yeah, he's the GOAT. Him and Bill Russell and Kareem, they're the GOATs. Wilt, we'll see where LeBron shakes out when he gets done. He's still playing. But, people want to talk, statistically. That's Wilt Chamberlain. But, so, when I hear shit like that, where's your crown? Where's your crown? It pisses me off. He's out of his tree. So, we'll see. Wouldn't that be a story if Dylan ends up with the Lakers? Being I name him Magic. He reminds me of Magic a lot. A lot. So, had to get this up. It's not how many's watching, it's who watching. Pippin, you lost your freaking cookies. you know, I'll do some more work for the great. Well, I got a really cool video coming up that I'm going to tie into a baseball Hall of Famer from this town. Stay tuned.